Not the brave Sandy of the glimmer in the day. The project here has been running for over a year, looking behind our doors, finding out what happened inside in terms of the trades of the town and who lived where. When we came here, we thought, well, we'll find some people to train up as researchers. But in fact, we found there were great researchers here already, and they were so generous with us, sharing what they had learned about the past of the town, the places, the people, the narratives, the stories.
I said, certainly not. I said, I'm a girl, I don't play football.
The Peter Pan statue, right there in the middle of the square at Kirriemuir, is what most people think of as the most notable thing of Kirriemuir. And of course the man who wrote and invented Peter Pan, James Barrie. But there's so much more to the stories in Kirrie. For example, if you look up at the top of the church, you can see the wyvern, a strange mythical beast which was donated to the town by the Lord of the Manor, Charles Lyell. Charles Lyell, who was in charge of the town council in his day, a famous geologist in fact, and he did work there in the town hall. That town hall was built, what, 1600s, and now it's still there, but now it's a museum, the gateway to the Glens Museum, the famous Glens up above Kirriemuir. The top of the town hall, the town drummer would stand on a Sunday shouting the news of the week as the people all stood around laughing with him. If we look down the hill, and Belly's Brae down there to the bottom, you will see that on the right-hand side, if you go to it, you'll find this famous statue of a real person this time, of Bon Jovi, of the band AC/DC, as I recall. And he stands beside the Garry Burn, the water that runs through and would drove so many mills. It would be amazing how many mills. There were plashing mills and there were corn mills. There was a mill that was grinding Peter Pan oatmeal, but there were mills that were the weavers and for treating the cloth, that the famous weavers of Kirriemuir. The weavers, when the handloom weaving had to move to the factories was just across the road there at the bottom of Belly's Brae, and in it was one of the biggest loom rooms in the whole of Britain. When we come back up the hill, you can see Viscosi's restaurant. In the 1950s, a man called Michel Viscosi came and he opened a chip shop here, come from Italy, of course. But then he was a man ahead of his time because he built a cinema in there, and there was a soda fountain alongside it, the American style. And so many stories of places up there in the roots. The man called Bob Inglis lived up there, and when he was a boy, during the last war, he could hear the German bombers going over as he was down underneath underneath the Lloyd's pharmacy. There was a air raid shelter, and he was in there, and you could hear the German bombers going over on their way to bomb Clydebank. And he said if we'd had a telephone, we could have phoned them and let them know the bombers were coming. Further up that road, just up the corner, is the very famous Star Rock. The Star Rock sweetie shop, and the man who invented rock that had a star shape in the middle of it, and people weren't quite sure how he could do it, he was blind, and he opened that shop. We come back down the hill again. Here we have something that the Looking Behind Our Doors project found out that people don't know about. It's not in the big reference books. Kirriemuir has the honour of having one of the very earliest food cooperatives we know about, and very certainly the earliest one in the east of Scotland. And it was just the first premises somewhere in there where we're looking at that co-op is there still now. But then if you just move along, there's this Bank Street further along from the co-op, and you'll see there that white building there is the hub. And the hub is, what they say, it's a dementia-friendly hub run by Kirrie Connections. And that's where we thought, let's have an idea for a project looking behind our doors and learning about the people and the trades of the past in Kirriemuir, and that's where we have located ourselves for over the last year. The narratives of the people are there all the time. There's a man called Alan Reid who wrote a book about the regality of Kirriemuir. But that man also collected together rhymes of the town, and his wife remembered as well, and they remembered the old rhymes, and we put together a website, the old rhymes of Kirriemuir, And then we said, well, we need the new rhymes of Kirriemuir too. So the kids of the two schools, the Southmuir and the Northmuir, they made up new rhymes for us, and we made up a whole website called Kirrie Words, where you can see the old rhymes and the new rhymes together.
Thrums is waking. Hear the rattle of boxes and bakery sounding sweet and sticky in Bridges Coffee House, while postcards and paintings rustle in the cool clover air, whispering down Bank Street.
When we started working here, this was the right place to talk about memories, because the hub is a place for people with dementia and their carers to come and enjoy events and to share their memories of the past. And often, the more recent memories are harder to get, but the old memories stay longest. The memories of rhymes, and the memories of places, and farms, and the town, and the people who were there in behind the doors. So we therefore had to document what we were getting from them, so we made another website. And the other website was Tales of the Toon. And in that we put so much information that people have given us, photographs that have been taken, old postcards that have been shared with us very generously, and research about who was there in 1955 in the streets, about who was 1929, who was there in the 1900s, and what businesses they were having. We mentioned about the mills, but there's so much to talk about the mills. We met someone who became the last person to work in the thread mill, and when Andy Shanks and Christine Kydd, who were making the songs for our project, talked to her, they made a song called The Last Thread, and it's a lovely song.
And in thread, coarse and fine, dreaming o'er your valentine, working in the mill. Keep your bobbins running easy, show your gowns bright and greasy. Never dreamt you'd be a wasted working in the mill.
We now have to think about what we do next. And what we need to do next is think wider. Because we've only been working with the central few oldest streets of Kirriemuir for this project. And there's much more, because some of the people who come in from the groups that come here, they talk about the farms. They talk about the villages. They talk about the old railway that used to run up to here. And we need to tell more about that. So that means that stage 2 needs to reach out to the parish of Kirriemuir.
Getting up the brae with Sandy and the glimmer in